organisation is only as strong as its ideas are true.
As we're here today, David McBride, who told the truth about war crimes in Afghanistan, is in jail. And he's in jail and was attacked by this government. He was attacked by this government because he called out the lack of accountability for the leadership in the ADF for the war crimes that happened in Afghanistan. And he has been utterly vindicated.
Welcome to the 270th Julian Assange Sydney Town Hall gathering. The quality of our lives depends on us knowing the truth. We need to know the truth so that we can maintain the environment. We need to know the truth so there can be peace between nations. We need to know the truth so that we can avoid being slaves to propaganda and lies. We need to know the truth so that we can eat food that is nutritious and free of poison. We need to know the truth so that we can avoid life-destroying medicines. We need to know the truth so that we may vote appropriately in the election of those we wish to represent us in government. Truth is our most important commodity, but truth is actively suppressed by criminals who are quite happy to profit from ignorance and deception. People who are ignorant of the truth or have been deceived by propaganda can become capable of participating in despicable crimes against humanity. People are taught through propaganda that it is necessary for human rights to be ignored so that our rat race existence may be maintained, and that our rat race existence is the best possible existence. This means that most people have no democratic will to participate in creating better ways to exist. Often people believe the propaganda and accept working as wage slaves, but many want to live more meaningful lives. Are you a reluctant wage slave? Are you an unwitting wage slave? Are you a willing wage slave? We are oppressed, whether we know it or not. At Sydney Town Hall, we aspire to waking people up so that we can all work towards the greater possibilities that knowledge of the truth can bring. If you want to put more meaning into your life, organise yourself to join us every Friday evening at 5 p.m. to help spread the truth. Truth empowers. Truth is the glue of unity. The Assange movement continues. Free, free, free the truth. Free, free, free the truth. Free, free, free the truth. Thank you. Now we've got a very special speaker. This woman is a GP of almost 30 years experience, extensive experience, not only in Australia as a GP where she got her education and practiced, but she also travelled back to her native Cambodia, where she helped Cambodians on a voluntary basis and discovered a very special medicine which she employed in COVID-19, known as ivermectin. She lost her license for using that, even though she used it completely legally, completely effectively, and completely safely. So please, make some noise for Dr. Mai Lee Trin. Thank you, Doctor.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for standing here with me today, united for a cause that goes beyond politics or professions. It's a fight for freedom, truth, and justice. Julian Assange once said, quote, "One of the key ways in which states demonstrate the supremacy of their powers is by violating their own rules," unquote. Today we see this chilling reality play out, not in some distant land, but right here in the corridors of our health regulatory bodies and government institutions. As doctors, we take an oath. First, do no harm. This sacred promise compels us to act in the best interest of our patients, even in the face of uncertainty, controversy, or resistance. But during the COVID-19 pandemic, that oath has been weaponized against us Doctors across Australia who dared to question the narrative have sought to treat their patients with evidence-based but suppressed treatment, have been vilified, persecuted, and silenced. I stand before you as someone who has experienced this oppression firsthand. I am one of many doctors who prescribe early treatments for COVID-19, guided by my clinical judgment, peer-reviewed international protocols, and most importantly, the needs of my patients. Instead of support, I face relentless persecution. Health regulators weaponized their authority using vague and outdated legislation to suspend my license and tarnish my career. This is not about one doctor or one case. This is about a systemic effort to suppress medical freedom and truth. Treatments like ivermectin, used safely for decades, were vilified and censored. Why? Because their success would have dismantled the narrative that experimental vaccines were the only solution. This wasn't science. It was profit and control dressed up as public health. And yet, when doctors tried to raise their voices, when we sought to inform our patients and uphold their right to informed consent, we were silenced. Our healthcare system has been hijacked by bureaucrats and corporations who do not practice medicine, do not see patients, and do not understand the sanctity of doctor-patient relationship. The government and regulators have interfered with ways that undermine trust, compromise care, and violate the principles of informed consent. The Healthcare Complaints Commission and the Medical Board of Australia have become instruments of fear used to intimidate and punish those who refuse to conform. They claim to act in the public interest, but their actions tell a different story. Complaints based on hearsay, anonymous sources, and blatant procedural breaches have been weaponized to destroy lives and careers. Parliament, the very body meant to oversee these regulators, have remained silent, allowing this abuse of power to continue unchecked. What does this mean for you, the people? It means your access to medical truth is being suppressed. It means your right to choose your treatment, your right to a doctor who speaks freely and acts in your best interest is being taken away. The demise of our healthcare system is not an accident. It is the inevitable result of this systemic erosion of trust and autonomy. Julian Assange's fight for freedom of speech echoes in our fight today. When those who in power suppress information, whether it is about government corruption or life-saving treatments, they do so to maintain control. But Assange also taught us that truth has a way of breaking through the cracks, no matter how hard it is suppressed. To my fellow doctors, we must not be afraid to speak out. Our silence only empowers those who seek to control us. To the public, demand accountability. Demand that your parliamentarian oversees these regulators to ensure transparency and uphold justice. And to the regulators, your power is not limitless. Your action will face scrutiny and the truth will prevail. As Assange said, quote, "Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the understanding that something else is more important than fear," unquote. Today I stand here with courage because truth, justice, and the health of our people are more important than fear. Let us stand together and fight for a system that respects our rights, our voices, and our humanity. Thank you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Diane. Happy birthday to you. Hip hip! Hooray! Hip hip!
Hooray!
Hip hip!
Hooray!
Oh, why it was.
Make up your
I should have happy birthday music, shouldn't I? I should have some happy...
We have.
Hi there. So some little time ago, actually it was 2 weeks ago, we had one of our gatherings here at the town hall, and we had 2 complaints. One was a live complaint. It was a public relations woman who in the past had said that the Julian Assange supporters are guilty of, quote, vomitous gushing. What an awful quote, but anyhow. And she reaffirmed her position in her communication with us. This was via Twitter. We had another person some little time after when watching Steve's YouTube channel, and he said, and I quote, that can we please state very clearly and very precisely our view on the Palestinian situation. So that's all well and good. We, by the way, have a lot of people here in our group who constantly have gone to the Palestinian marches on the Sunday. Quite a few, more than just a handful, who we know are Assange supporters and have all been here before protesting on behalf of Julian. So the fact of the matter is, imagine for a moment you have the ABC and you have, I will get to my point, but you have ABC News Radio, you have ABC Radio National, you have ABC Local 702, you have Triple J, you have ABC Classic FM, you go to the digital, the internet version of it, and you have Double J, the old-fashioned Double J, and blah, blah, blah. So imagine for a moment you tuned into one of those ABC stations. There you are, you're tuning into it, and all of a sudden you're hearing all of those ABC stations at once. All of them at once, it would just sound like a great big noise. So when you have all of the political causes all put together in one big omnibus, the Palestinian thing, the Ukraine thing, blah, 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 could go on and on forever. When you do that, and I've seen it here at the town hall, it's on behalf of the unions and whomever else, when you do it, it can sound like one big noise. What we have is one sales idea. It's what some people would call branding. And the branding is that we talk about whistleblowers, and we also talk about, we've branched out a tiny bit to also talk about Dan Duggan, because Dan Duggan, what they're doing to Dan Duggan is precisely what they were doing to Julian Assange in terms of using the Espionage Act against him. Even though Dan is not a whistleblower, the same thing applies because of how they're using the Espionage Act against him. So, we have a very specific branding here that we do, that we use. So if you want us to support this and support that and support this, all these other things are very fine causes, and our people do support them. But this is a brand. It's like you write an essay, you do an argumentative essay, and you're arguing for something specific. If you're, the news people on the TV have an angle they pursue, again, they're on a specific angle. If we have to have an omnibus with every single protest movement here, we'll no longer have that angle, we'll no longer have that brand. And that's my answer to the guy who wrote to us on your YouTube channel, Steve, asking us to be very precise about our position on Palestine. Yes, we support the Palestinians, but it's the wrong channel, right? If we have that channel and every other protest on our channel, people won't get it, they won't get the angle, they won't get the sales idea. And the sales idea is simply whistleblowers and, freeing people who are being attacked by this Espionage Act. That's pretty well all I have to say. Thank you.
What I was thinking, what I would say in answer, that we are not a pro-Palestinian group. We are pro-Palestinian, but our group is not a pro-Palestinian group. A lot of us don't agree with how the vaccines were rolled out, but we're not an anti-vax group. The main thing is that we're pro-truth and justice. And we want to see truth and justice, and that's what we stand for. And all these people that we stand up for, it's to do with truth or justice. And of course, the Palestinians need justice in Palestine. There needs to be the truth told on the TV about Palestine. And we are also against the killing of journalists in Palestine, because they're the way the truth comes out. And if anyone wants to talk here about the truth in relation to Palestine and justice in relation to Palestine, they can come here and talk about it.
So can I just make a point there? I think it's a valid concern or a valid comment that you make about getting the people who are pro-Palestinian to come here, but again it needs to be quite specific based on what this particular group does. So I would suggest that there are many people in Palestine and places like this who have been persecuted as writers, as media people, as freelance journalists, as citizen journalists, blah blah blah, who've been persecuted, jailed, harassed, all that sort of thing. And there should be campaigns for them. So if we have people who know what the campaigns for these people are, tell us, and we can obviously add all that information to the list of stuff we give people out, but it does need to be quite specific in terms of whistleblowers and truth tellers and the free media people and people like that, rather than the larger thing, which is simply free Palestine, free this, free that, free this. We go into a very specific area of it.
We have a thing of snakes here. The Sydney Harbour sea monster being here.
Pull out the Sydney.
No, I can't, because I'm not going to eat it. I'm sorry, I'm on a diet.
Oh,
We can all go home.
is that what the Sydney Harbour sea monster looks like? Oh. Cocker.
That police car we just saw is chasing after the Sydney Harbour sea monster. It's very serious. It's jumped off the State Street building there. It's on the loose, and it is making house calls. So beware. Thank you.
We are all Julian Assange.